What up, everybody? I was just sitting here off to the side waiting for it to become 4:30. But what's up? How's everyone doing? All right, let's go. So, as you can tell, happy Wednesday, by the way. Happy hump day for most people. If you're on the other side of the world, it's already Thursday for you, but for everyone in the US, my time anyways, it's Wednesday, so hope everyone is doing well. Hope you've had a good week so far. Now it's just downhill to the rest of the week. But as you can tell by the title of this stream, we're going to be messing with this system back here a little bit during the stream, that system. As you can see, I do have a setup. Here we have Cyberpunk going on, and we'll just use that just because it's a high stress game in terms of like CPU and GPU. It pushes the limits of systems, so that's why we have that running there. And I'll explain more in a bit, but I'm just gonna run through the scenes real quick. Let me know how the audio is. We got my face scene. We got this angle for the test bench scene because I will be working over here. So this week, the test bench is not overhead this week. It is to the side. We have, when we do the browser stuff, got the whole room scene, which, oh, that's so bright. I need to adjust that real quick. Let me configure that and make that a little dimmer if I can. Nope, I can't control it. We're not going to use this scene that much anyways. And then, of course, we got to go to the phone NDI for me to just do whatever hands-on. So, I think, let me know if any of those were not good, but uh-oh, what happened to this camera? Why is it doing this to me? Why is it frozen? Give me 1 second. Technical difficulties already? Oh, it's because the NDI is on? How am I gonna freeze already? Come on. Don't do this to me. Give me 1 second. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the NDI seemed to have thrown that off. What's going on here? Already with the technical difficulties. For some reason, when I did the phone NDI, switching back to this cam froze it. So, alright, maybe I won't use the phone NDI until I get that figured out. That wasn't doing that earlier, but, I'm gonna restart it real quick on my phone at least. Alright, so let's see. We're just gonna hang out for a little bit, chill for about 5 or so minutes at the start of the stream. I'm just gonna catch up on chat. What is up? Lewis, Czar, Craig Lilly. We got a bunch of people. Astro Wharf, Craig, Truefield, Huden, Clash Till You Fall, Andrew Woodford. We got Coalition Gaming, Chris in the house. We got Shane, Eastlick or Eslick? That I'm on tech, Kelly the Legend, Beast John 1, tons of people in the chat. Craig Bowl 5-man, Jumi Whack. Who else? Did I miss anybody? Braden Hardman. Yeah, so thanks for being early and coming to stream actually right on time. A lot of people were actually just chatting and stuff beforehand, but let's see. What's up, Brad Smith and Lil Blank? Yeah, that wasn't doing that earlier. That's the new slogan for the stream. But let's see. It's S-Lick. Okay, S-Lick. Got it. I need a S-Lick. I need to remember that because obviously you're a very long time viewer and stream watcher. So I need to do right by you by remembering it. But it's just when I'm reading something like before thinking about it, it usually just comes out whatever I naturally read it as. So I try to be better about that. Let's see. Oh yeah, if you guys could hit the like button, hopefully that helps out because YouTube is apparently trying to get into this, compete with Twitch. So I think I have been seeing more stream recommendations on my front page or homepage. So if you guys hit like, hopefully, I don't know, maybe they'll push this stream and push it to other people who are interested in PC hardware. But let's see, what headphones do I use? For the most part, I have M40Xs from Audio Technica. Those are my main headphones. But I use speakers for the most part, just because, yeah, I'm just lazy to have those, especially with the wire and everything. Speakers is good enough for me, and I just use some Logitech. I forget what models these are, but yeah. Is it finals week in school or university? What? Oh yeah, we are in December now, and people will probably be getting out in the next couple of weeks for winter break. So yeah, I guess the quarter or semester finals should be coming up. So study and do good if, you know, that's what you're pursuing. Hey, what's up, Nacho Churro? All right, so we're 4 minutes and 35 into the stream. Okay, let me do a quick membership shout out, just because always gotta give props and thanks and appreciation to the channel members. We got Craig Lilly, It's Unbroken, Zia Bobia, Christopher Kunin, and Louis Czar. And then for the Nerd on a Big Budget, and the Nerd on a Tight Budget, we got Matthew, I'm on Tech, Man Karate, Andrew Woodford, Jacob Vincent, Luis D, Sir Lance Sapot, and 14R Chico. So those are the channel members. Thank you for supporting. With that, you do get the emojis you can use during the chat right now, actually. You can use these emojis, which I'm going to send out. And then you can also use those in video comments, as well as you have the loyalty badges. So that actually shows up every time I get a YouTube comment, so I can be quicker to priority reply to that. But yeah, thanks again for the memberships. I think we're 2 away from getting a new emote. So if y'all want to join, barrier to entry is $1 for the lowest one. But all right, what are we working on today? So let's switch over to this cam real quick, and I will show you. So hello there. Now I gotta be a little bit better. Hopefully there's not that much delay. This is going through the laptop or the other system NDI. Let me see what the quality is like. Let me know how it is. I'm monitoring chat on this laptop as well. But over here we've got 2 scenes. We've got the system that we're looking at here, Cyberpunk, as you can see on the screen, and that's playing off of this PC right here. So this is going to be the system that's going to be showcased in this week's coming video at the end, rather. And it's a fun little system. We art hunted for it a few weeks ago, and then I made a video finding the graphics card dedicated to the system. Yeah, I got. So you've seen hints of it, but the full video is gonna be out this week. Cohen Jax, thank you for the membership. I appreciate that. Thanks for joining. I'll get you on the list for next week's starting stream. Okay, so what we're doing here, let me show you what's going on here. But as you can see, I've just been running this system. Let me bring up Afterburner. So we're mainly focusing on the temperature of the CPU. Oh yeah, this is also going to give you kind of a little bit of like a behind the scenes of how benchmarking and what I do, what goes into. Let me move the mic over here so it sounds better. But what goes into like the videos and me testing a system and stuff like that. But I got the benchmarks done for this. As you can see, Cyberpunk is running at 84 degrees on the graphics card, which is on the warmer side. It's not necessarily dangerous. I forgot what the GTX 970, what the safe temps are, but yeah, someone said, dang, it's toasty. It is running very warm, and the reason is because, let me pick this camera up and show you. And I'll try to keep an eye on chat as well. But all right, so this is the system. I mean, you can see I don't have big hands, but just relative, I need a banana for scale. But you can just tell that this system is pretty small, right? It's like, here's our Xbox controller for scale, so, or a water bottle. I should run upstairs and grab a banana, but yeah, this is a very tiny system. And because of that, oh, and it has this cool handle, so you know how I love my handles. Yeah, there you go. There's a banana. Thank you, random dude on YouTube. Actually, no. Let me do right by you guys. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. All right, here we go. Here's a banana for scale. That probably doesn't help you with the scale, but it's, trust me, it's a small case. It is very small. We'll put the banana up here. Yeah, I'm just yelling at the stream. So let's open it up and we'll take a look inside. But there's a few problems with this case. One of them being that there's no light down here. There's my lamp. One of the problems that, well, one, there's no like feet at the bottom of the case. So as you can see, it's sitting flush to the bottom. That's one issue, but I'm not sure if that would even matter because there's no ventilation, as you can probably see here. There's no ventilation down here aside from these tiny, I think those are holes to hold the hard drive. But so the GPU is essentially being choked off. In the front, there is a little bit of ventilation, but as you can probably see, these hexagons they block off a lot of the opening. Like the ratio of opening to like panel isn't that good. So you're not getting much airflow in the front, but as you saw on the, where is it? Oh, down here. As you saw here, so there is quite a bit of ventilation on the side, right next to the graphics card. And then there's, I guess, space for air to exit in the back. But this case came with no fans. 0 fans on this case, which is pretty rare. Even the bottom, like, budget bargain bin cases, they typically have at least one tiny rear exhaust fan, which could help. So, as you saw earlier, we were sitting at 84 degrees. I think it went down. So the temperature went down to 74 when we opened it up. So there was like a 10-degree delta, panel on versus panel off, right? But we don't want to keep the panel on or off at all times. So we're gonna put in these fans, just some random fans that I pulled. I mean, one of them's an Arctic and the other one's a Corsair. But the fans aren't as important as much as just getting some airflow through here. So that's what we're gonna be doing. But I want to ask you guys a question first. Let me get this back here. Just doing it. Let me catch up on chat. Is the 980 worth it for about 25 bucks more? Yeah, I would say so, over a 970. If there's a $25 difference, I would pay 25 more. Because the 970 actually has gone up in price. It's closer to like 200 as of late, since I've been looking. Okay, let's see. Hi Plays, thank you for subscribing recently. A 2mm, 200mm fan. That won't fit. The case is so tiny that yeah, that won't work. Oh, thank you, Chris. I really need I guess I could try to do a wireless mic, but yeah. So let's see. Yeah, sorry about that. Chris reminded me. I actually do have a wireless mic coming in soon, so we'll see if that could work, and I'm gonna be using for videos too. But all right, so I have a question for y'all. We're sitting at 84 degrees. I'm gonna actually run a poll. When I put the 2 fans in, how much do you think the GPU temperature will drop? And we're gonna ignore the CPU because, as you saw, the CPU is far from thermal throttling. It's running about 60 degrees. It doesn't hit more than 70. So even with the stock Intel cooler on there, it runs just fine. And I'm not worried about that overheating. It's the graphics card that's running toasty. So just based on putting the 2 fans, and I can only put it at the side panel and the back panel. I can't put it in the front because the graphics card is too long. There's interference. So putting it on the side and in the rear, how many degrees do you think it will improve? And let me run a poll. Okay. So we'll do 0 to 2 degree, 3 to 4 degree, 5+ degree. Okay. Did it ask the poll? Okay, yeah, I did. So just vote real quick. And you have to remember, keep in mind, we're gonna be pulling air from the side, and then it's gonna be exhausting out the rear. So this case isn't big enough for us to like kind of have separation between the fans. So I'm thinking, me personally, I'm thinking like 3 to 4 degrees. I don't think it'll be anything major, but we'll see. Should try intake and exhaust on the side also. What do you mean by that? Yeah, from 84 degrees. Yeah, so this is gonna be a fun community-based experiment here, where we're trying to optimize these fans. I'm not putting the fans into the build and the budget because it wasn't intended. It was just something after testing. I was like, huh, it's running toasty. Maybe we can talk about it on stream, and I'll incorporate some stuff from this stream into the next video. So, yeah. If you give it a little kiss before the temp, or you test it, the temps will be lower. Yeah. So we got more than half of the people in the chat saying that it will be a 5+ degree. So I'm on team 3 to 4 degree. I don't think it's gonna make that much of a difference. Just because I think the best way to have cooled this was to have ventilation on the bottom, because the GPU is close enough to the bottom of the case that the fans can naturally pull air in. So it needs that. Coming in from the side, I'm not sure if it's gonna do it. I think it needs direct airflow from the bottom, perpendicular to the fan blades. But we'll see. That's why I'm saying 3 to 4 degrees. But let me see. It's actually getting back up again. Yeah, so let's go over there. I'll end this poll right now. Yeah, the thermal paste has been changed. I changed the thermal paste right when I got it, because I didn't know how old this card was. So it does have Arctic MX4 thermal paste, freshly changed. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna do the fans, I'm gonna do intake on the side, exhaust in the back, and then we can flip it if you want. So let's go back over there. Yeah, but still fresh air versus no air. Okay, so let's go back to the test bench. Let me move the mic over real quick. All right. So it actually took a long time to heat soak up to that, because if you look at the temperatures now, we're at 82 degrees. Wait, is this refreshing? It is. Okay. Yeah, so we look at this chart, GPU temperature. Yeah, so it's at 82 right now. I think when it heat soaks for a really, really long time, it gets those final, like, last couple of degrees. But 82 is close enough. So we're just going to assume 84, though, because that's how high I was able to get it. Though it might take a while to get back up once we have the fans. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to give you an up-close view. And I'm going to try to do this as optimally as I can without taking forever to, like, screw it in. So what we're going to do is pull this open. And then we're going to add the fans in while the system's running, because I'm too lazy to shut it down. And, yeah, be careful if you ever do decide to do it like this. But adding and removing fans to the system is fine. Make sure you don't short anything else. Alright, so we're gonna get this fan up here plugged in. Come on. Alright. So we got this fan, it's up and running. And this is actually a bigger fan. If you can see, this is a smaller opening. I think this is for like a 90 or 80 millimeter fan. We got 120s in the house though, so I'm just gonna put this one here, and it's gonna be a little bit bigger. Let's see if I can fit this here. All right, so that actually wedges in perfectly. All right, so you see we have the fan. It is exhausting air. So we have exhaust right now. This is a very janky way to do it, but you know, we're not trying to spend like a whole hour just screwing in fans here. So we do have exhaust going. Let me get, the thing about the panel one is I would never want a panel fan anyways, just because it's annoying to have something tethering, right? Like when you open up this panel, then this connector is tethering to it. But so now we're gonna make this one intake, so it needs to be facing this way, and I need to screw it onto the panel like this. So give me 1 second while I find the screws for it. Yeah, it's a very slim case. Where are the screws? Alright, so I'm only going to put 2 screws in. We only need 2 just to hold it in place. Again, this is going to be temporary, so I'm not trying to spend like a ton of time. If I can find the right holes, I think that's it. Finding the right hole. Is very important. Alright, so we're just going to do diagonally to the current, but as you can see, it'll be intake based on the orientation. Okay. Oh, and just for reference, if we take a look at Cyberpunk with the panel off, I don't know if the fan's doing that, but we're at 66 degrees. So we'll see how high the temperatures get. It's 66 to 67 degrees right now, right? So we'll see how high the temperature gets. But now we're going to add this fan in. If I can... Oh, there's the connector. I'm going to plug that in right there. Something's hitting. That doesn't sound good. What's hitting? Okay, I think this case is so dented. Yeah, it's not the wire hitting. I gotta make these a little looser. Give me 1 second. I think some of the part of the fan hub is hitting on something. Yeah, because this is, oh, like, oh, here we go. Yeah, so that's how thin this case is. It just pops all over the place. So, all right, we have our intake fan, which let me test it on this side. Yep. All right, so it is pulling air in. That clicking though, hopefully it doesn't come back once I close this. I know it sounds sketchy, but don't worry. This isn't the most exact science here. We're just adding case fans in. Okay, the clicking didn't come back. So, what is this? Okay, who's Cecilia Johns? I'm not sure who that is, but I think that's spam. I'm gonna put you in timeout. Okay, so we've got the intake fan, and then we've got the exhaust fan. If you can see that, it's too dark, but we got the 2 fans in there, right? Okay, now we go back and we just sit and we watch Cyberpunk, right? This is the not so glory part of like PC hardware testing and behind the scenes building and stuff. Like, this is the stuff that I do behind the scenes to come up with my conclusions and thoughts on things like the case and just like gaming performance and temperatures, which I don't spend a ton of time in videos going over just because I've been trying to shorten the content to not make it drag on. But this is the stuff that can take hours to mess around with behind the scenes. So yeah, now you get to see it firsthand. But so we're gonna let this run for a bit. Oh wow, is the temperature not gonna increase any more than this? Did we just go from 84, we're sitting at 68. We'll see if it can soak a little bit. All right, we're up to 69, nice. Now let me read chat while we just wait and chill. Yeah, so I need a better positioning for this. So let me move this camera this way so that we can, so I can read the chat and you can not look at the back of my head. But is that banana for scale? Yes, Zeobobia. The banana is for scale. And hello Maxwell, if you're still watching. So we're just gonna let this heat soak, but I'll catch up on the comments. Let's see, what's up Marco Patuzzo? Will I eat the banana before the end of stream? Tyrion 2000 asks. I could eat the banana before the end of stream. If somebody donates how much, I will try to eat it in one bite. How about that? What should the donation amount be? But let's see. The Carrot and Delta fan. Wow, I missed quite a bit of chat. No, yeah, so this graphics card is the EVGA, I think like Super Clock 970. So it's not a reference blower, whoever mentioned that earlier. What else is there? Gonna need that donation amount right now. Yeah, so we'll put the banana back here. The clicking, yeah, the clicking was a little bit sketchy. So we're at 70 degrees now. We're up at 71. So this is why I commend all the channels that do the really in-depth testing, like Gamers Nexus, especially since they normalize. So the only normalization that I'm doing is making sure that the temperature stays relatively the same, because you have to look at ambient deltas, which it's been sticking at roughly 21 degrees C down here in the studio. So it was 21-ish earlier and it's still 21. So the room's not getting any warmer by heat output. So that's one thing that you also got to keep in mind. It's just like so many of these small details that people usually don't think about. But if you can't get temperature control or like a consistent temperature, then it's gonna throw your testing off. But we are still, I'm going for like a 1 degree margin of error here. So as long as I'm at 21-ish degree ambient, then I'm fine. But anyways, so we're at 70. Are we about? It looks like we might cap out at 70 or 71 degrees. It, like I said earlier though, it takes a long time. So I'm gonna keep reading through chat. Oh, also again, and I do have the fan stuck at a, here, let me show you. So the fan is running at a locked 50% fan speed. If that wasn't locked, then you have a situation where the fan curves might try to run them faster to get the temperature lower, so that'll throw it off. So we have to run it like apples to apples comparison, right? So I needed to lock the fan speed just to ensure that when we put these fans in, it doesn't run quieter and still get as high of a temperature. We're running in consistent test scenarios. So yeah, fan speed is locked to 50%, and I do have overclocks on here because I overclocked it for the video for the benchmarking. We have 200 megahertz on the core and 500 on the memory. Yeah, so we're at 71. We'll see if it gets to 72, but if it does, it might be capping out at 70, 71. It keeps bouncing up and down. Hey, what's up, bro? Funny. No, this is not a fake mesh in front. This is, there is a mesh, but the mesh is it has very small openings. Yeah, so, Tibby Boss, the main specs you can already see on the screen. There's a 10100F and a GTX 970. I'll go over the build and the cost and everything in the video that's releasing this coming weekend. I don't want to give up too much information because then you guys maybe won't watch the video, and I need you all to watch the video because those are more important technically than the streams are. Because the streams, the viewership is a lot smaller, but I need the videos to do as good as they can to help push my channel back into the algorithm. So If you did catch previous streams though, or previous videos, then you'll know how much the system costs in total. But yeah, I'm not trying to give away the entire build's, you know, worth of stuff in this stream. It'll be in the video this weekend. Has the Snowmobile been overclocked? So Chris is talking about my Toyota Yaris. No, it has not been tuned or overclocked or anything. The only thing I do to that is change out the tires by taking it to, you know, discount tire whenever that comes up. I do the oil change myself, and then that's pretty much it. Can I give away the banana? It won't be good by the time I give it away. Temperature looking like it's not bouncing back down to 70 anymore. It's sticking at 71 degrees. So let's take a look at CPU temperature. CPU temperature, yeah, so CPU temperature, it's not really changing. It's in the low 60s, which is what I believe it was at earlier before we added in the fans. So CPU is not really affected by this, which kind of makes sense because when the air is being pulled in, it's almost directly being pulled out before it even reaches the CPU. Like, it's going in and making a sharp turn to the exhaust. So, all right, what do we have else? What if you're the neighbor? Then that's true. If you are my neighbor, then it would still be good. But I don't believe you are my neighbor unless, you know, you come randomly knocking on my door right now. You just noticed that emote? Oh yeah, that's the new added emote. It's unbroken. So as I get more channel members, YouTube unlocks space so for me to do more or add more emotes. So yeah, there's 2 new ones compared to like a couple of weeks ago. You found out your motherboard is dead, Stango Bango. Is that in your current system, or are you like building a system and you found out it's dead before you even built it? But yeah, F's in the chat for Stango Bango, for his dead motherboard. Sorry to hear about that. Stance, Chris wants me to stance my Yaris. That, I don't understand people who do that, those huge cambers on their car tires. Because it just seems so dangerous, especially in Washington. You want all the traction you can get. Being on like the corner of your tire does not seem like a good idea when it comes to driving in the rain and traction. Yeah. There's a little bit of water between our houses. Yes, Shane Eslick, that is correct. Okay, what else? Tyrion 2000, you watch all my videos. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. All right, temperatures. We're sitting at I think we're at 71 degrees. So this is going to be very helpful for the video. See, by doing this testing with you all, I'm going to be able to refer back to this and say, hey, if you add a fan, or 2 fans rather, you can get a 13 degree delta, which I was completely wrong. See, this is why you don't just trust my intuition. Like, I need to do the actual testing to back it up. But we'll let it sit for a little bit longer. I'm very curious if it go up to 72, but I'm thinking it might settle at 71 degree here. Okay. Alright, see ya, Marmalade, Chainsaw. Thanks for, you know, being in stream for however long you were. Have a good dinner, or lunch, or whatever time it is you're eating, breakfast. Jay Walker says his 1700X and B450 Mobile died about a month ago. So he knows the pain. Did it die out of nowhere, or were you like doing something or like changing parts out and it died? I've rarely had parts die on me from old age. It usually is because like I go in there and try to mess with something and then stuff starts going wrong. But I've been fortunate, you know, for that not happening. All right, yeah, so more than 56% of you were right. The rest of us, what is wrong with this? Okay, so I'm good at calling it at 71 degrees. So now, here's the next interesting question. Just for fun. I do not. I don't know if I'm down here. I didn't see it. All right, we're running a new poll. Will swapping the fan directions as Shane Eslick suggested? So we're gonna put the front panel to exhaust now and intake from the back. Do you think it will improve the results? And when I say improve the results, actually we're sitting at a pretty steady 71 degrees. It's either a yes or a no. Even if it's slightly, you think it might slightly, a 1 degree improvement is a 1 degree improvement, right? So, I am gonna vote, let me think about this one. Is it better to have, so the exhaust is the one that's closest to the graphics card. Is it better to exhaust? Think it'll be worse? Because I think it's better to bring fresh air as direct to the graphics card as possible as it is to pull air from the graphics card. Because you have to pull air into the heatsink first, and trying to exhaust that, I don't know. I feel like it'll mess with the airflow, but I'm saying no. But okay, we have a majority of people saying no so far. About 2/3 of you say no. But it is shifting a little bit as we get more votes in. Both exhaust is what you're curious about. So if both are going to be exhaust, it's going to give you a negative pressure situation so that air gets pulled in every corner and crevice. And the front may be more useful at that point. It may pull air in from the front in that situation, or so anyways. So we could try that as well, Andrew. We'll do that after. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Tyrion 1000. I'm thinking fresh air directly onto it, being pushed onto it is better than pulling, but we'll see. And it's almost close to a half split with all the votes so far. So let's see. There are opinions on the GTX 1070 Amp Extreme for 300 euros. What is 300 euros to USD? I think that's pretty good. So that's 340. Yeah, 1070s in the States are going for 400 USD. So 340, it's a bit expensive, but I mean, the closest thing to that's gonna be what, RTX 2015. Those are also going for well. So I can't speak for over in Europe what the prices are like, but in the US, that would be a pretty good price for a 1070. I don't, if I put so I see what you're saying, Tibby Boss, but if I put an intake fan at the bottom, unless it's floating halfway between the graphics card and the bottom panel, it's not going to do anything because the bottom panel, there's no open ventilation. So you're going to have the fan directly against the solid panel and nothing's going to be able to be pulled through. So, okay, wow. So we're about 50-50 on the votes right now. People think it will improve it. So if we go back and look at the test bench scene, we are still sitting at 71. So 71 degrees, we'll call it that. That we had a 13-degree improvement going from no fans to these. Okay, so let me get a couple more chats before we go back and switch the fan orientation. Brad Smith said, "Hey Dan, I upgraded CPU to the one in your main PC." Oh, sorry. Reset the mic. My bad. I need to be better about that. I could just turn the mic up and have it cut off more. How about that? Let me know how that is. Oh, it seems a little loud. Yeah, 71 degrees, definitely not bad at all. Yeah, thank you for everyone being in chat and blowing up the chat. We have a lot going on, so see ya, Robert's PCs. Have a good night. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the test bench and we're gonna switch out the fans. All right, so now you get this angle for me doing this. So we have 84 degrees and 71, and now let me move the mic. We are going to switch the orientation of both of these fans. So one of them is going to be really easy to do. So this one right here is going to be really easy. We just take it and come on. come out you. All right, so I'm gonna take that and now I'm gonna flip it. So here's backside, and we're gonna make it intake from the back now. I just cut my finger on the fan. Okay, so that went in pretty easily. I need to make sure I center the hub on the opening. Okay, now this fan I'm gonna have to unplug. I gotta unplug it because I gotta unscrew this. This is the not so fun one to change out. And yeah, I do need an I like those electric screwdrivers, but I also love the ratcheting sounds of this one. It just sounds so good. So for this fan, we're gonna take it and we're gonna flip it. So now it's gonna be exhausting here. There's the backside. So let me get this on. Whoops. We want this to be exhaust, yep. Case reminds me of your first build. What was your first build in? This case looks like those, is it the Lenovo's? One of the pre-built OEM systems from one of the major, like Dell, Lenovo, HP. They have a system that's very similar, that looks very similar to this. I forgot what the tower is called though. You're keeping notes, Shane? Good, because I'm not. Normally I keep notes on a sticky pad, but right now I'm just trying to keep up with chat and do this. So I still remember that we got 84 degrees as well as 71 degrees. So I haven't forgotten yet, but the more tests we do, the more likely I'm going to forget. All right, so everyone agree? This is now going to exhaust because of the way that the fan blades are swept, right? It's going to sweep it and push it out. So all right, so we got the fan going now. It's on. We'll put this in here. And now we will watch the temperatures together. So yeah, temperatures went down again to 60, below 70 degrees. So just having the panel off, if you don't mind and you want to save money on fans, like 10, 15 bucks on fans you don't want to spend, just open up the panel. It'll be a little bit louder, but hey, it works. But all right, we have the flip fan configuration in the system right now. Let me show you more up close, since we're just gonna be waiting around anyways. Banana still for scale. So there is that fan, so there's that fan, if it would focus. So that's pulling air in now. The hub is a little bit big though, compared to, or the center hub compared to the opening, because this is a smaller fan grill. But then we have exhaust here, which, do I have a piece of paper? Is this light enough to show that the exhaust power? Yeah, that is. It's pushing it off, otherwise it would be laying flat like this. Go down. Oh. Yeah, but it's definitely, it's exhausting. Oh, and then this should technically stick to the back. If I were to hold it, just right here. Yeah, see how it's being pulled in? Yeah, so we do have the intake and exhaust working as intended. But let's watch the temps while I catch up on chat. 73 degrees. I think we already passed the point. So I think I'm convinced that just based on what we see now, that it's worse. Because the temperature wouldn't have passed 71 degrees if it had improved it. That's not how thermodynamics work. But yeah, we're at 74 degrees. Let's see how much worse this configuration gets us, actually. Hey, what's up, Jonathan S. PC Gaming? I saw your comment. If we have time at the end of today's stream, we'll see if we could take a look at your channel. Just because I think I saw a couple of your videos, but maybe other people can critique too. Alright, thanks for joining for the first part of the stream. I'm on tech. Have a good night or rest of your day or evening. Okay, I think what program are you using to check the temps? Yeah, so Angel La Rosa. I am using MSI Afterburner, which is it's showing on the screen right there. To get the actual temperatures on the screen itself, you have to use it with a program like Riva Tuner Statistics, which is Riva Tuner is what that stuff is what all this stuff here is, and it does take quite a bit to configure it to show like how I have it shown, with like the naming of like the processor, the graphics card, and having a layout that's nice and clean like that instead of like tons of rows down. Like I group up the threads by groupings and everything like that. But yeah, that's MSI Afterburner. 70, yeah, Shane, it's not looking good. It's 76 now. So it looks like it just went from 76 and bounced down to 75. So also, here is the temperature in the room for reference. So the room isn't any warmer. So delta wise, we're about the same. Like if this was 23 degrees, then yeah, we could subtract a couple of degrees off for the delta, but we're still sitting at 21 degrees. So this is, I think, objectively worse, this fan configuration. Now I'm very curious about Andrew's for having everything exhaust, which is going to be an easy thing to flip. So we'll see if this gets any. Oh, we're at 77 degrees almost. Yeah, exhaust will be easy because there's no screws for the back one. So we'll do that as well. Yeah, so I made 2 different MSI Afterburner tutorials in the past. We could actually pull them up. Let me see. So let me go over to here, the browser. But I feel like my tutorials might be outdated by now. I've also learned way more. I've learned, yeah, so this one. Oh man, what year were these? Let's take a look. Let me move myself over here. We take a look at this. My first video about MSI Afterburner, which is a quick tutorial on how to get it set up. This was back in like 5 months into my channel, 2016. Right here. So I'll share this if you guys want to watch it, but I'm pretty sure they're pretty outdated. And then this one is in 2017. I did another one that was slightly better, but those are, I mean, pretty ancient by now. So those are those 2 links if you want to watch it to get a basic gist of how to set it up. Man, this was when I was at my first, technically my first YouTube studio. This is the first room I ever shot out of. Actually no, this is the second one. This is the first one I ever shot out.
So my girlfriend.
But yeah, if you want to learn how to get it set up, those should still be relevant. It's just getting into the super further details, those won't cover as much. Okay, let's go back to the test bench. Jay did one in November. Does he do? Jay has done. I think I've seen 2 or 3 from him. I didn't know he did it that frequently though. I don't think Jay goes into the details of how to get this stuff set up. Like, cause this, here, I'll show you guys actually, since we're just chilling anyways. I think we're, oh my goodness, it's still going up. We're at 79 degrees. But this is, when you go into MSI Afterburner, and you go, this is the monitoring tab. There's quite a bit you can do in here to show things. But here's just CPU usage, temperature, and clock. And then if you name the groups like I did, override group name, that's how you get it to show up as these 3 parameters under that. But then you can even go further into this by changing your colors and stuff like that here, as well as changing the different things you want to show on graphs, the width of it. So it gets pretty like detailed and technical, I guess it just takes a lot of time messing around with to get the right settings. But I have a settings file that I usually move over every time I do a benchmark a new system, so I don't have to redo all of them. But yeah, I usually change the colors of this to match the company. So Intel's blue, Nvidia's green. If I had AMD processor, I would make the blue a red. Like we can actually change it to red now, and you'll see. But there's a lot more that goes, yeah, so now see this is red. So there's a lot that goes behind the scenes of benchmarking and getting like results and showing you all the runs and stuff that took a lot of learning over time. Yeah, so he probably did it, setting up OSD or on-screen display is pretty simple, but changing the names, changing the sizes. Like if I press benchmark right here, which is how I benchmark, if I press benchmark, you see how these number pops up, and they update real time with how the test runs, which is what I show in the videos. So like you have your averages, your 1% and 0.1% lows, and those update as the run goes on. So this is how I get my benchmarking numbers for the different tests that I run. But yeah, that's all stuff that you can look into more if you want to learn how to like do benchmarking. But let me get that off because we're not caring about the numbers right now. We're just caring about temperatures. And I think we've capped out at 78 degrees. So it looks like flipping it made it a lot worse. It went from 71 degrees to 78, 79-ish. Andrew, you asked earlier. Sorry I missed that. Do I play Genshin Impact or have you used it for benchmarks? So I did play Genshin Impact when it first came out. I think it's a beautiful game, but I'm not really the character models are more on the side of like chibi instead of like more realistic proportions. You know, they have big heads, little bodies and stuff. I'm not a fan of that. But Genshin Impact is a free game. I guess it would be something to add to the benchmarks, but right now I already have usually I have 10 or so games I benchmark alongside like 3, 4, 5, 6 synthetics that I do. I'm not sure what the demand would be for a Genshin as opposed to some of the other games. Maybe I should just see how systems run on it, but yeah. If there was a higher demand, I guess in the chat right now, sound off, I'm going to ask this as a poll actually. As we finish off this temperature, and poll. So let's end this poll real quick. Let me get a drink of water because my throat's getting dry. Alright, so... Oh wow, 61% thought that the flipping the orientations would have improved it. So, almost 2/3 guessed wrong, which is fine. That's why we do the testing. Hey, what's up, Ping V? Okay, Brawlhalla. Brawlhalla would be a benchmark, I feel like, for integrated Sandy Bridge graphics or something. But, okay, we're gonna have a new poll. Which... Okay, I'm curious. I'm just curious. I know Genshin Impact is a very popular game, but I can only fit so many games, like time-wise, to test them and get them installed and set up in settings and stuff. I can only fit so many games, as well as how many I could, you know, realistically fit into like 2 minutes, which is what I try to keep my benchmarks around. Pinky Tech says, I feel Genshin is pretty niche. Maybe check the numbers on Twitch. Yeah, that's true. We could actually do that right now since we're just chilling. Alright, so if we go to Twitch. Though, I think a lot of the games on Twitch, I probably don't already benchmark. So, let's see. Games. How do you do by games? Filter. Okay, so I don't always do Valorant. I do Fortnite every single video I do Fortnite for benchmarks. I don't do Minecraft just because I wouldn't even know what to do for the benchmarks. And there are like so many ways to play and mod it that I don't think just a base vanilla game would be that representative. I have Minecraft, but I haven't touched that for years. Valorant I do for low-end systems just because almost any system can run Valorant. So there's no point in showing it on a like decently capable system really. Apex Legends I do every single benchmark. Grand Theft Auto I do almost every single benchmark. Warzone I used to almost always do. I'm not doing it in this latest video just because it's too big. I'm doing Halo Infinite on this one. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already of the top games. League of Legends, same thing. I benchmark it for when the systems are lower end just because even integrated graphics runs it at like 144 FPS plus. Genshin Impact is on here. What else do I run that's pretty low on here? Nothing else, I guess. I do like Forza and Dirt just to get the racing people in there, but Genshin does seem it is within the top how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It is in the top 20. What else is down here? So I do Forza. I do Rainbow Six Siege, which apparently isn't that popular. I just like Siege because it has a built-in benchmark that I can use. That's very easy for other people to replicate and compare results. Let's see. But now we actually know. Yeah, so it seems like more than 2/3 don't really care about Genshin. Andrew, is that one of the main games that you play? Where do you get Genshin? It's free. I think it's its own thing. It's a free game, except it has a gacha system. So if you want to, you can pay to do more pulls. But yeah, it's MiHoYo. Is that how you say it? MiHoYo. It's their own thing. You can download it. I'm not sure if it's a client for all their games or just this, but it's brand new or it's free. So yeah, so Far Cry 5 and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I used to do Far Cry, or is it which one is Far Cry 5 again? I lose track. Sorry, Far Cry 5? Is that? Yeah, so I did quite a few Far Cry 5 benchmarks a couple of years ago, but I mean, I don't know. It's I have to choose, you know, whichever games, how many games I can fit in it. And this is Ubisoft, right? So I think it uses the same engine as Rainbow Six, possibly. But one of the issues is also how expensive games are. You know how often some of these games release? Moving towards doing the free game benchmarks is probably a better idea for me, just because buying a $60 game every few months when it comes out to try to keep up to date is not as feasible as doing something like Halo Infinite, which I think is going to be very popular moving forward, and that gets patched on the regular. So it stays relevant, and you don't have to buy a new game every content cycle, which is about every year they release, right? So doing stuff like that, Apex Legends, Fortnite is kind of nice. I hate benchmarking Fortnite though, because no matter what system you have, Fortnite loves to have frame drops. Like I've tested Ryzen 7, like RTX 3070 systems, RTX 3080. No matter what, you always have these stupid frame dips where 1%, 0.1% lows dip to like 30 FPS or something, which makes no sense. The game is horribly optimized. Hey, what's up, Mr. Good Times Gaming? Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the kind words. All right, let me catch up in chat for a little bit here. Benchmark Warzone. Yeah, so I normally, almost every benchmark I had prior to this had Warzone. I just knocked it out of this latest run for Halo Infinite instead. Let's see. Okay. Hey, what's up, Husky? VNord? Yes. Please don't spam about benching Warzone. I do it in most of my videos, but not in this next one coming up. Alright, so what's the temps at? We're at 81 degrees. So, for those of you who are just tuning in right now, we've tested a variety of configurations. We first did 0 fans, which we got 84 degrees after like letting it soak for a while. Then we added an intake on the side, exhaust in the back. That brought it down to about 71 degrees, a 13-degree improvement. Then we flipped the fan, so now we're intaking from the back, exhausting from the side. That's up to 82 degrees, about 81, 82. You see it there? It's flipping back and forth. So it may not be as bad as no fans, but it's pretty close to it. Baby Apex Legends, please never stop making LAN stories. Yes, LAN party stories. I don't plan on stopping that anytime soon, for now anyways. So, yeah, we should have one coming up in February if the Omicron doesn't screw everything up in terms of lockdown. So we'll see. 81 to 82. All right, that's a no. So now we're gonna do one quick thing. Okay, look at how quickly the temperature is gonna change. We're at 80, 81 degrees right now, right? I'm gonna pull off the panel and do this flip. Let's see how much it can drop to. In the time that I flip this around. So now we have a double exhaust system, negative pressure inside the case. Okay, so it's already dropped to 77 degrees. Oh, gotta be careful so this wire doesn't hit this side fan. Alright, it's dropped to 77 degrees. We'll see if it goes back up with this double exhaust configuration. How come when I use MSI on my Lenovo, you can't control the fan speeds? Probably because it's a laptop. With the laptops, you have to, for the most part, use the software that comes in it. The Lenovo Legion 5, it comes with the built-in Lenovo software where you can set different profiles for this. I think the CPU and GPU noise levels at least. I forget if there was a fan-specific slider, but it's just based on what what each of those companies want you to be able to control or not. Yeah, it's not the same as like with desktop graphics cards in terms of freedom of that. I should benchmark Minesweeper. Dude, if your computer cannot run Minesweeper at 9,000 FPS, then your computer is horrible. Would leaving the side panel help daily if you use on your main rig? Leaving the side panel off, you mean? In general, lower temps are technically better if you want to look at statistically in terms of like the longevity of components. The temperatures we're dealing with though, I say it's pretty like negligible. Most of these parts will be obsolete by the time they would naturally die. As long as the temperatures are below whatever their safe specs are. I don't know off the top of my head what the GTX 970 is. Let me see. I think for the Intel 10100F though, it's 100 degrees, right? Let's see, 10100F safe temp. So according to the specs, it's 100 degrees before it'll start throttling. Whether or not that's really safe is another question, but that's what Intel specs it as. Let's see, GTX 970 safe temp. 98 degrees according to Tom's Hardware. Is this like a forum post or is this official? Oh, it's according to NVIDIA's spec page, apparently. So, yeah, these could get pretty hot. It'll just be very loud. Alright, temperatures wise, dual exhaust. Wow. We're at 74? Has it not gone up? Let me look at this GPU temps. Yeah, it's actually Okay, so it looks like it's going down. We'll see if it can pop down to 73. So the temperature is trending downwards, which I don't know if I could say I was expecting that. The double exhaust. Interesting. Yeah, I was trying to look at the trend. Hey, see you later, random dude on YouTube. Have a good night. When's the setup video? I'm thinking that might be next week's video, not this coming weekend. It might be next week's, depending. So the setup video is something I can do whenever. It's not as much of a time crunch compared to like some of these other build videos that I've been, I teased about a couple weeks ago. So if something slots in before it, then I'll do it. But the setup video is something that, because it's only my own personal content, I can take as much time to get that out as possible. Plus, I am actually next week's stream. I plan to quickly put together a table over here. Oh, let me show you all too. Yeah, let's wait for this temperature to normalize, and then I'll show you what the studio looks like with those shelves that we built last week. Hey, what's up, Christopher Coonan? Welcome to the stream. All right, so I think the temperatures are pretty much good to go here. It's popping back and forth between 73 and 74 degrees. So the best situation or configuration was pulling intake to the side, exhaust out the back. The second best, which caught me off guard, looks like double exhaust. So exhausting off the side and the back. I think that's creating enough of a negative pressure inside that more air is probably getting pulled through this front as well as everything else. And then doing the flip configuration, exhausting out of the side, was pretty bad at 81 degrees. But the worst is with no fans at 84 degrees on the graphics card. So I think we're pretty much done testing now. This was pretty cool to do. And I'm glad you all were here to experience it and help make some of the decisions with me. Let's see. Jeff Wayne says your Gigabyte 1650 Super regular hits 75 to 80 degrees. What's the fan speed at? Have you monitored that? Because usually it's a trade-off, right? If you can spin those fans up like to close to 100%, usually it can keep it pretty cool, but then you get bad fan noise. So it's up to you. I wouldn't say 75 to 80 on heavy gaming, something like Cyberpunk, is that bad at all. You should run a constant benchmark with a high airflow PC case on your carpet to see how bad it gets. That's a very difficult thing to do. Like a content piece that requires 1 year worth of recording or like test setup, because if anything changes or if you mess up or forget to do something throughout that time, like let's say if you wanted to test thermal paste or something and the degradation, you have to like constantly push the system at a certain rate and stuff like that. So I think that would be a harder video to do, but maybe if I have a test side system, I could consider that. The only thing is, it will be 1 year from now when I release that video. So usually for something that requires that much of a time commitment, the payoff is never that good, especially if it's a video that flops. I can't imagine taking a whole year on a video and getting like 10,000 views or something. I would be quite sad for how much effort goes into it. Yeah, so it's down to 73 now. Andrew, I think you have a winner idea here. It might go down lower. Actually, it's better than no fans. I think it might be better than, it's popping down to 72 degrees now. Y'all see that, right? Do I have a 5600G with a GPU vid? I don't think so, but it'll be very similar to a 5600X. Very similar. Very similar in that I know there are people who did side-by-side comparisons. It's very similar in that once you get 100 above like 144 FPS, the differences don't really matter. All right, see you, Andrew. Thank you for your recommendation on doing the double exhaust. This was pretty cool to see. Yeah, full year tests for someone like Linus who has like a whole dedicated space for it. and like a whole team, like being able to tell one person, all right, you got to do this for 1 year. It's not easier, but as a one person show, it's a little bit harder to do, especially with limited space. But all right, I think we're at 72 degrees. We're gonna let this keep running, but let me show you the rest of the kind of updated studio. All right, so I think I should be able to pick this up, and the sound's gonna get pretty quiet because the mic is gonna be right there. But remember how we built the... Oh, what happened? Sorry about that. I pressed the display. I pressed something on the display, but all right. So this, I ended up buying a third shelf. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll know that. But here's what the room looks like now compared to last week. Remember there was like stuff all over the place? So we do have 3 shelves now. We got one right here, and then there's 2 right there. So I think I'm gonna call it quits at 3 shelves. Sorry, I need to speak louder because I'm not in front of the mic anymore. I'm gonna call it quits at 3 shelves. I think this is enough. I'll just get rid of some of these other boxes. Next week, I plan on taking this tabletop and putting some legs and making kind of like an island for me to be able to like work here as well. But then that will be that space, and then this, it's still the same. All right, let's see what's going on in chat since I've looked away. Let's take a look at these temps though. 72 degrees. It might be the same as the first fan config that we tested. It's about to hit 71. All right. Does anyone know how to ease from anxiety? Unfortunately, I do not. I know there's meds for it, but... Yeah, I mean, someone said weed. I'm not promoting weed, but I'm just saying I know it helps some people with anxiety. Oh yeah, I'm super happy to move into the basement. Basement in quotes, because the house is built into a hill. So that half is basement, this half is not basement. It's kind of weird. But it is technically underground still. Yeah, I'm super happy. So much more space to work with. I used to have to move things so many times in my older setup. Like the space where I shot, where I built, where I tested, it was all the same one table. Now I have multiple tables where I can do different things. I can stream. And yeah, this bigger space, I should have moved down here when we bought the house. Let's just say that. But I waited almost 3 years to move down here. Yeah, that's true. Honestly, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if talking to a professional might help as well. But that's definitely not my specialty, so I can't comment, unfortunately. If anyone has ever battled anxiety and have found methods, natural methods that helped, definitely let Capek23 know. Hey, before I get back to the chat, we're at 71 degrees. So Andrew Woodford's idea, we're gonna keep on letting this sit. I'm curious if it might go lower. I'm very surprised that this double exhaust is working this well. This must be just pulling as much heat out as possible. Is it colder in the basement side? I've actually not noticed. I guess I could take... Oh, and by the way, here's the reference temperature. So we've been floating at a pretty consistent 21 degrees C down here. But yeah, I guess I could take this and measure this side and then the other side of the basement and seeing if it's actually colder over there. But not that I have noticed. Christopher Coonan, I seem happy today. Kudos. Am I any more happy than I am in previous streams? I feel like I'm pretty upbeat. I'm pretty excited any stream day. I get pretty excited because it's been a whole week since I've streamed, and doing this live is pretty fun. Being able to interact with all of you like live as opposed to like you comment on a video and then I get to it like an hour, maybe the next day or something. This live interaction definitely, you know, is very fun to do. So I try to bring as much energy as I can to the stream to make it as entertaining for you all. So I'm glad that you've noticed. Let's see. Pinky Tech, thank you for responding to that. What was the question? I missed it. Can you plug in 2 USB dongles to a laptop and have them both work? Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you could probably get a dongle, like a splitter. They even fit. Oh, let me show you what my setup is. I'm all over the place today, but for my benchmarking system, this is what I use for my mouse and keyboard. It's this 1 to 4 USB adapter, and then my keyboard and mouse are these 2 wireless mice and keyboard. So then I could move everything around way easier. And when I plug, anytime I need to benchmark a system, I just plug in one thing and it has everything, most part, all my peripherals connected. And then the monitor just sticks there. But yeah, but for a laptop, you could definitely use probably 1 or 2 of these, depending on what the power required is. If you're trying to do lighting, it probably will be limited, but for low powered items like mice and keyboard, you could split quite a bit. You have a central air house, but still need a portable AC in your room due to PC heater and racks of hard drives. Yeah, so we also have central air as well. You can see one of the vents is actually right up there, but there's other vents all throughout the house. But the good thing about being built into the side of a hill in the lowest point of the house is it is the coolest in this room, even with these PCs running. What's 21C in Fahrenheit? Let's see. So that's 71, and that's with, I mean, I've got that system running right there. I've got the monitors. I've got this hotbox running. So it stays pretty cool down here. And I think Melissa has the heat running in the house because the rest of the house is also pretty cold. So I'm pretty sure I'm getting some heat coming down from that vent. And it stays 71, which I think is pretty cool. It's not freezing cold down here, but if we turn off the heat, the central heating, it probably would be. All right, temperature-wise, we're at 71 degree, consistent. It's not even bouncing back and forth. So I need to let Andrew know that that was a good idea to go double exhaust, because I wouldn't have thought of that. Up Here fans are awesome. I've used them many times for my builds. They look great. Yeah, Steven Williams, I agree. For the most part, fans, I can't get by with, or like, I don't understand people who can drop $100 for a set of like 3 fans, which I think I saw someone, I think Razer fans cost that much. Corsair fans are probably up there. I think they're probably up there like at least 80, 90 bucks for a set of 3. But there's tons of good adjustable RGB fans. Good is relative, obviously, but good enough RGB fans for like 30 bucks. I don't know how you could justify spending triple the amount for the brand name, and maybe slightly better acoustics, and maybe slightly better like air, CPM. Yeah, you seem happier than your last stream. Yes. Definitely, Chris. Since moving into the basement, I think overall I've been happier. Alright, how long have we been going for now? We've been going for a little bit over an hour. So, I think this is the last test. We were just messing with fans today. I wasn't going to show full benchmarks or anything because that's for this weekend's video. But, other than that, I think we're done with this, and we can go to the deal hunting as well as any showcases, unless there's any last minute things we need to do with this PC. Whoa, check this out. I put this right next to the exhaust, and it blew on whatever. I'm guessing there's like a strain gauge in here, That's usually how these work with the expansion. Of how, yeah. So I put this right next to the exhaust, and it read 23.5. So yeah, that's definitely blowing out warm heat. Your GPU is the crusty R9 390X. Hey, 390Xs are still pretty solid. I was trying to find a 390X for an upcoming build, actually. 390s and 390Xs. Couldn't find any. Had to go down to 290s and 290Xs. Also couldn't find any. Had to just settle with another GTX 970 because that seems to be the best value proposition at the moment. For under 200 bucks. Zeobobia, stream idea. Nob gaming with member participation. So I was thinking, like, what if I streamed Halo Infinite? At the end of the day, Halo is becoming my main FPS because one, it's free, but also it's Halo, which I played a long time ago on Xbox, the original Xbox, and now that it's pretty popular on the PC, I was thinking if I played some of it, I just don't know how interested people would be in watching me play games. Okay, actually, we gotta run another poll. So we're at 71 degrees. I think we're good here. I'm just gonna let this keep running, but we'll go back to the main scene. Move the mic. All right, give me 1 second. Okay, be very quiet. He's hunting deals. Yes, yes, Craig Lilly. But first we gotta run. I wrote down a couple of questions. Stream time. So because you all, it seems like there's a pretty normal group of people who are attending the stream now. So your input is the most important out of anyone. So I'm gonna ask you here. Should I move the stream time to 5 p.m. PST? Okay. So, first question is 4:30 a little bit too early, especially for people on the West Coast US? 4:30, not everyone is off of work yet, you know, for the people who work the typical 9 to 5. I chose 4:30 because I didn't want my stream to like coincide with anyone who is streaming also on Wednesday in the evening. But I actually took a look, and as far as like my friends go and people who are my acquaintances, content creator wise, there isn't, the next Wednesday stream that I've seen is 8 p.m., which if I start at 5, a 2-hour stream will still end well before that. So I'm curious if people, okay, it looks like three-quarters of you would rather have it a little bit later. I think that'll help people on the West Coast, particularly those who are still getting off of work. Maybe when it starts at 5, maybe that's the point you'll be like in your car driving home stuck in traffic or something. So yeah, we'll let this poll run for a bit. So I'm from Washington State, so I live a little bit north of Seattle. So for me, 4:30 is when I start my time. Okay, Fernando asked, do you have any tips on cable management and can you make a video on it? Cable management like a desk or cable managing a table or like a PC? Yeah, so it looks like almost 3/4. Oh, now it's shifting as we get more votes in. Please vote on the poll, people. We have less than half of the people watching the stream voting right now. I mean, I'm kind of wanting to switch it to 5, but unless, you know, there was votes against that. Otherwise, then yeah. All right, see you, Tyrion 2000. Oh, for PC cable management, honestly, that has been on my back burner to do. I just haven't done it because with cable managing a PC, I'm not sure how many tips there actually are, as much as it is taking the time to and having the patience to wire things one by one and finding the most optimal path. I mean, the tips would be have Velcro zip tie or Velcro straps and zip ties on hand, and tuck everything into the basement as you can. That's the quick tips. I don't know if there's enough to make a video on it personally. I know other content creators have made it. Let's see. Yeah, it's already 9 in New Hampshire. Yeah. The only thing is the East Coasters, they'll have to stay up a little later to watch. I would be starting at 8 p.m. their time. Ping V, Bonnie Lake is about 45 minutes. Oh, wait, good times. What did he ask? Oh yeah, Bonnie Lake. I've been to Bonnie Lake. I don't go there often. I prefer Velcro straps just because zip ties, to remove them, you kind of have to cut them. It feels kind of wasteful. Velcro straps, you can just undo things and redo it without having to cut them. I think with zip ties, if you get the right ones, you can press on the tab to undo it, but it's kind of a hassle. Yeah, so it looks like more than 2/3 have voted for 5 p.m. So I think starting next week, I'll shift the stream to 5 p.m. That gives me more time in the beginning of the day to get stuff done. And that gives the viewers more time to like get off of work and go home, de-stress, do whatever they need to do. For East Coasters, maybe that gives you more time for dinner and stuff. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, so for people like you, DJ Andre223, me shifting it means that you're gonna have to stay up even later, unfortunately. JLo, do I do viewer builds or help their PC? I typically don't do that normally just because the demand is way too high. I'll give like small tips and stuff here, but in terms of helping in person, I mean, I'm not that big of a channel enough yet, especially with people needing help way outside of my own personal like region and city and stuff. So that's something that I do now, maybe hopefully one day in the future if the channel grows that much. But the community here as well, if you have any questions or tips that you need, the community is very good at answering your questions and stuff. So definitely ask, whether it be in the video comments or in the stream chat. People will sound off and help. And I'll try to also help as well as much as I can. What time zone? I am in, I don't know what GMT is it? Seattle time zone GMT. The offset is -8 for UTC GMT. So I'm in PST, which is Pacific Standard Time, West Coast, United States, Washington State. 3 hours behind New York, according to Google. Yeah, so the live streams, they are on the channel for at least 2 weeks, which if you all didn't know, if you go into the description of this live stream and of any live stream, there's a playlist that all the streams are archived to. So even if it's not showing on the channel, it is put there after a couple weeks. Because I only keep like the last 2 or 3 live streams up, then I unlist the rest of them, just so that it doesn't make the channel look bad. Because the stream viewership is definitely lower than video viewership, of course. Hey, what's up, your personal geek? You finally caught one. Dude, I see you've been killing the YouTube Shorts game. I was like, where has his videos been? And it's because you've been focusing on that TikTok and YouTube Shorts. Keep it up, dude. All right, see you later, JLo. Okay. So let's see. So I'm gonna end the poll. All right, we're gonna be shifting the stream to 30 minutes later next week, based on 2/3 of the vote. All right. Let's see. Next, one last poll. How do I remove this option? Okay, here we go. YouTube Shorts, that sounds like a clothing line. Do I feel competitive or relaxed with other YouTubers in the tech space? That's a good question. I haven't thought about that for a while. I don't feel that competitive because I think there's plenty of viewers out there. I'm not competitive against other YouTubers. It's not like I think they're stealing my views away. I'm competitive, or I'm not happy about the YouTube algorithm, if anything. Like, yeah, it's not that other content creators making stuff will pull my viewers away. It's more like YouTube not showing my stuff like they used to, and that results in me getting like not as many views and interaction and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't feel really competition between everyone else. I think everyone, especially since I have a big group of tech tubers that I am like friendly and cool with, it's more like everyone does what they can to try to lift each other up. Like anytime I can, I try to shout out other content creators. Like I shout out Coalition Gaming Chris all the time because he helps me with this stream stuff, and I've collabed with him before. I shouted out Mark in 1 or 2 videos ago because he lent me a 3400G to do a video on. Anytime people stop in on the stream, I try to tell people to go subscribe to them. So yeah, I try to, you know, I have a good friendly working relationship with other content creators, so there's not really competition, in my opinion. Maybe they're competitive with me, but I'm not really competitive with them. Let's see. YouTube boxers or YouTube briefs? YouTube boxers, by the way. Oh, okay, I see. Speaking of YouTube boxers, not boxers like the briefs, but boxers as in like combat sports. That's the next poll. We're just gonna be running polls tonight and just hanging out. Actually, we should probably get to a little bit of deal hunting because that's what I promised everyone. But while we do that, we'll run the polls. Yeah, so Shane, yeah, I'm sure there's a handful of people who would prefer the deal hunting. So I think maybe the gaming segment would be the very last segment. I'll still do the project stuff at the very beginning like we've been doing. Then we'll do the deal hunting and stuff in the middle, and then maybe end it with the gaming. If I do it. It seems like more people would like to see it than not according to the poll right now, but yeah. Did you hear? Yes, you did hear hotbox. What's up, Luis, aka Kryptonic HD, aka keeps on tweeting about improving himself, but when's the last video he posted? I'm giving you a hard time, Luis. Make content when you're ready to do so, but let's see. GT 730 GDDR5 at $25 a good deal. Only used for basic tasks like watching videos and playing LOL. Yeah, even your personal geek is saying get a video out, Luis. Yeah, you're being called out. You know how I like to call people out like that. I think of it as like a friendly nudge in the right direction, like what I said to Tech Bank a while back. But yeah, trying to get you motivated. Yeah, regarding the GT 730 though, oh, is it on sale right now in B stock? For 25 bucks, I don't think it's on sale here, but for 25 bucks, what processor are you pairing it with? If it's like an Intel, I feel like Intel HD is just as good for basic tasks, but I don't know. Okay, Luis, parts are pricey, but you know you can make content on so many other things. On your existing computer, tips on how to optimize your PC. There's so many ways to make content without actually doing hardware-based videos. Part pickup videos, you know. So I don't want to hear excuses, okay? What's up? What just happened? What do you mean, Chris? I'm not sure what you mean by what just happened. Hey, what's up, Hyper? Slowly pull capacitors off the motherboard and see how long it survives. Or, never mind. I gotta keep my video ideas to myself, otherwise it might get poached. But, I have an idea, something like that, except to do with hard drives. We'll see if I ever get around to doing it. What's the best GPU and CPU for value and performance during this market? Honestly, first of all, per value, it depends on what your price range is. But I think the Intel i3 10100F is one of the best value products right now, just in general, especially for the low-end users too. Let's see what we can find it priced at. This is the one I picked up for the build that you're looking at over here. Look at this. Like new for $83. You compare this with a $50 or $60 refurbished motherboard from Newegg or Amazon, you got a pretty solid $150 combo going on. DDR4 RAM is dirt cheap, so I don't know what can beat this, honestly. That's a good point, Christopher. There's no such thing as a combat sport. So I'm guessing you would think UFC is not a combat sport, but it is just combat, right? Well, but then people would say that's different than, like, in the real world where there are no rules at all. You're sick of channels that say you can't make content because you can't get new products, especially freebies. Yeah, are there any big channels that are complaining like that? Yeah, I think you just have to find like a niche topic and dive into it. I think Greg from Science Studio, or he used to be Science Studio, now he's just Greg Salazar. I think he, like, of all the channels, have seen the most growth in the pandemic, when we're talking about like kind of medium-sized channels, right? In finding a niche with his cleaning out of the PC, what is it called again? I forgot what the acronym is, but his PC cleaning and his PC flip or flop and all that stuff. Like, that series has done so well, and that doesn't even require new stuff. He's just providing a service for people and making that content. So yeah, that's the prime example, if you need one, of you don't need new hardware to make content. Yeah, so speaking of which, I also do follow I'm not sure who all here follows YouTube boxing and just that side of boxing. To be honest, that's actually what got me into watching boxing more. Because after that, I found out about some of the younger fighters, like the newer generation, the Devin Haney's, Tank Davis and them, and I've been watching them, but the original Logan Paul versus KSI fight is what got me more into watching like The Zone and stuff like that. But that's a side tangent. I don't know who here is interested in boxing and all that stuff, but I've been following it and trying to follow some of the younger fighters. It's been interesting. I used to never be interested in boxing before. That's it. That's a good point. He kind of made it his, even though we know channels like Techia City has been cleaning stuff out for a while. I think they both had a little bit of beef recently, regarding like, I think Greg said something along the lines of like, I think because Brian tried to rename his series into an acronym, that Greg wasn't too happy about that. But I mean, Brian was one of the original kind of channels that focused solely on like cleaning up PCs, like doing deep cleans and stuff. So that's drama I don't really want to get into because I'm friendly with both of those people. I'm curious what everyone else in the chat thinks though regarding Techia City versus Greg Salazar. I think that was on, I think it was on Twitter. It was kind of like a slight jab that he posted a tweet about. Okay. So hopefully I'm like going on tangents now, but I don't think there's anything in EVGA B stock or midweek madness. We're seeing you can get a $20, is this even mechanical? I don't think it's a mechanical keyboard. But yeah, we're seeing the mice, the keyboard, nothing special on here. There are some relatively cheap power supplies, 600 watt bronze. These are gonna be like C to B tier on the PSU tier list for like under 40 bucks. No graphics cards. I'm just gonna skim right through. Yep, AIOs, yeah. They're cheap AIOs already, so I'm not sure if any of these are worth it. Nothing on EVGA. I'm gonna quickly go through B stock, which is almost the same thing. Yeah, nothing on here either. Check out King of the Streets for cool fighting channel. Alright, I'll check that out on my own tab. Ain't trying to get demonetized since some of these street fight videos are, or underground fighting videos might be demonetizable. Yeah. Well, I mean, Greg's channel was, he started with like science-based videos, like straight up like planetary science and like astronomy type stuff originally, and nature and stuff like that, right? But the PC stuff is what took off, so that's why he said he kind of chased after it. So oh, is the test okay? Midcore, I just saw your comment. Yeah, I'll watch you guys argue, but I can't take sides because, you know, I've met both of them in person, and I talked to them behind the scenes to DMs and stuff, and I would say I'm friends with both of them. So can you have a quick suggestion for a budget CPU case? Huh? CPU case? Oh yeah, I forgot. That's what in some countries people call CPU cases, or the CPU, the desktop, the CPU. What is this? Fantech Pulse, Malaysia. Okay, so you're overseas, which makes sense, is why you call the computer a PC, CPU. What is this? You're asking about this case, CG70. Okay. This is, what does this look like? I think, does this look like a Corsair or something very similar to it? I mean, do you care about airflow? Because 2/3 of this is being covered up. Otherwise, everything else looks pretty standard. Obviously, I don't have the case in front of me, so I can't talk about the build standard, but you got your power supply basement. Inside looks pretty standard. You can fit plenty, like 240, 360 radiators on here. Probably 280s, I wouldn't be surprised. It comes with 8 fans. In terms of the case quality and price, I don't even know what this translates to. 189 RM. What is RM? 44 USD? 44 bucks, seriously? And it comes with 8 fans? I mean, I would say I would totally pick this up for like a cheap budget build. But I don't know if that's actually the case. But yeah, hopefully that helps. Greg and Brian UFC fight. Yeah. So I'm gonna end the poll. Let's see. It looks like we are going to. I'm gonna try gaming, not on this stream because I didn't plan for it. I need to set up and make sure the PC can do all the streaming and stuff on that. It should be able to. But with all the camera set up, I need to set that up for next week's stream. Maybe we'll play some Halo Infinite. Now that it's fully released, maybe we could also get some viewers in on there. We'll see. Oh, support 8 fans. Good eye, good eye, good eye. Supports 8 fans. How many fans would it come with? I need to read better. What's in the box? Okay. So for 40 bucks, maybe it comes with 0 fans. If it comes with 0 fans, I don't know. I feel like for around 50 bucks in the US anyways, it's really hard for me to speak regarding Malaysia or whatever, wherever you are from. For 40 to 50 bucks though, usually you can find cheap cases that are like fully kitted out with fans nowadays. So kind of hard to recommend, especially since the airflow is not the best thing in this one, it looks like. Okay, I don't think we have any stream showcase submissions. Yeah, we don't, so. Yeah, we don't read. We just look at pictures around here. Okay, let's see. Infinite Benchmarks asks, what are some tips for growing on YouTube? Also, I want to save money, buy a top-line game PC. What are your thoughts? Yeah, definitely. So here's my thoughts on. We'll talk about the PC. Actually, no, we'll talk about growing YouTube first. Top tips about growing YouTube is you just need to be consistent. You need to at least upload once a week for a really long time, and making the best content as possible. This is very generic advice, but you can't grow if you don't make content. And I'm not sure if you have a channel yourself, but oh, Infinite Benchmarks. I would imagine you have a channel. Let me take a look. But thumbnails, title, you got to be on top of all of that. So Infinite Benchmarks. I'm not sure if this is your channel. I'm seeing a different one with the same name. Yeah, so you have like 300 subscribers. Okay, so let me look at some of your benchmarks. It looks like you are uploading. Here, we can actually take a look at this. Since there's not that many deals to be had. So we look at Infinite Benchmarks. View it, buy it, build it. Okay, so you've been 3 days ago, 11 days. So you do post consistently. So we're doing the channel reviews now. We're jumping all over the place, but hopefully this is interesting enough for the rest of you. Even if you don't have a YouTube channel. Like, what goes, you know, on behind the scenes or through the mind of someone who does have a channel. So you only do Fortnite benchmarks? Is that it? So I think that's one tip I can give for you. How do you have so much? Let's see. RTX 2060. So you're benchmarking, and then it looks like you upgraded to a 2070. Let me zoom in so you all can see. So your thumbnails, Pinky Tech says better thumbnails. I agree with that. It looks like you just take a screenshot of something happening in game, and then like these letters right here or the wording could be bigger. Like all LSS and settings, if that's an important part, make that bigger because you can barely see it on here. And then RTX 2070 Super, make that big too. But your channel doesn't have a lot of variety, so I'm not sure if there's a reason for people to come subscribe to you for more videos, because you only test one game from what it looks like, only Fortnite. There are other free games out there, so you should at least add in Apex Legends, Halo Infinite, anything else that you can if money is an issue and you cannot afford to buy other titles. At least test more free titles. That's one suggestion. The next suggestion is to So you're testing for the most part. You have 1060s, 2060s, and 2070s. So I get it. Not everyone has the money to be able to buy and flip PCs and do all that stuff. So adding in more titles and then trying to be more creative with the benchmarks, maybe doing different resolutions. It looks like you're doing all DLSS. So let me take a look at the video itself. Halo Infinite is free multiplayer. It is free, Chris. So if you want to hop in a game when we do stream it, definitely get it, and then we could get you in on it as well. Multiplayer is free. Campaign you have to pay for. It is very similar to the Call of Duty model. They're basically doing the same thing, which works. But yeah, if we're looking at this right here, so you're playing with DLSS on and off. So one thing that I think would be helpful is to have side by side. It looks like you have all the footage already. In an editing software, try to show the benchmarks side by side, because then people could view the numbers back to back without having to jump from this part of the video to this part. So let's see. RTX. I think I did it for the 3080 video. So if we look at this video here, so you see like this, when I do side-by-side benchmarks, people can look, they can see directly, boom, the RTX 3080 has 150 FPS, this has 107 side-by-side. When you go to this game, this is 30 FPS, this is 20. Personally, that's what I think is more helpful. If you're a benchmarking only channel, you have the footage, you just need to edit it so that it's side by side, because this is not helpful where I have to look at this and have to hop back and forth. Other than that, I think that was a good enough amount of tips to get you going for at least the next few videos. Hopefully that helps. Other than that, keep on making content, try to add more variety. It also helps if, I'm not sure if there's audio. Last time I checked out a channel last week, my video got demonetized because of the songs that they're using. So I'm not going to play audio here. But if you could add commentary, that would also help make your channel more personable, and people will come back more for you and not just the benchmarks, right? You can build a community that way. Okay, back to the chat. Sorry. Pokemon Unite. I'm not interested in Pokemon Unite for some reason. I think I'm just over the whole MOBA thing. I'm not interested in MOBAs after League of Legends. Okay, let's see, just upload content, yeah, so, Chris, also, yeah, I agree, channels that stick to an upload schedule that doesn't really deviate, that's what I'm trying to do. I try to post on the weekend. I'll deviate the days a little bit, but it's about every week trying to get one good solid upload out, and then stream every Wednesday, so consistency. Can you benchmark Maru the Succubus? What is that? Why? Oh. This looks like inappropriate flash animation. No, I cannot benchmark that. Speaking of League of Legends, Arcane was fantastic. I need to finish watching Arcane. I started it when we were in New York, but then I got busy and then never finished it. I started like the first half of the first episode. So I need to watch that. I did play a ton of League of Legends in the first 2 seasons. It's just, I'm just so behind in all the new characters and meta and stuff. I cannot get back into League of Legends now. You're good, bruh. Funny, no problem. Do I still play World of Warcraft? You quit in 2017. I stopped after Vanilla Classic. When Classic TBC came out, I stopped playing, and I didn't even... I have Shadowlands, the collector's edition, but I didn't buy a version for me to play. I'm just collecting it because I'm a Blizzard fanboy like that. But yeah, I don't play World of Warcraft regularly anymore. It just takes up too much of my time. You see a live band play in the background? Dude, do you think I'm made out of money or something? How am I supposed to get a live band to play back here? You've never played Fortnite, Munchies. I don't think you're missing out on much. I'm curious of people's opinions on Fortnite. We're gonna run a poll. I love these polls ever since YouTube added it. We're gonna ask the community. I hate Fortnite. I vote for no. I hate it. But that's just me. My problem with Fortnite, for the most part, is because I have to benchmark it so much. Not that I suck, because I still enjoy games that I suck. I don't like Fortnite because of the horrible performance it gets on the majority of the systems. If you ever try to benchmark Fortnite like I was showing with MSI Afterburner or any other program, and you actually monitor the 1 and 0.1% lows in frame times, it is horrible. Yeah, even a powerful system does not run Fortnite well. You get good average FPSs, but you get dips all over the place. Do you actually love Fortnite, Chris? I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not, because I know you are sometimes sarcastic. Yeah, so maybe they optimized it for console, but I'm speaking specifically for PCs. I feel like it runs like dog crap. What are my thoughts on Tarkov? I've never played Tarkov. I think it's a very cool concept though. It is very RPG-esque in that you're building up like your little base thing and you store materials and stuff like that. It would be cool if there was a game like that that was an MMO. I'm just a huge MMO fan, and Tarkov seems like... I mean, Tarkov's kind of like PUBG and games like DayZ and stuff like that, right? Where you're like gathering and killing people and stuff like that. And you're trying to be like kind of stealthy and tactical. I think Tarkov would have been really cool if it was more of an MMO instead of lobby-based. I just like the bigger open worlds more, personally. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the specs on Fortnite went up. Just like most other games, over time you get that spec creep as they add more features and stuff like that. Though Fortnite always does have that performance mode that might still be in beta or alpha. So at least they're looking out for people with low-end systems. It's just that you still get crazy frame drops even if you do those things, from what I've seen. Oh, hey, what's up, Mats? Yeah, what's up with the... You're talking about that frame print over there? You have a question about that? What's up? Feel free to ask, Matt. We're just chilling, hanging out in stream right now. Would you... I played Skyrim back when it released in what? I can't believe it's been like a decade now, right? 2011, if I remember correctly. I played it. Skyrim is one of those games where there's so much to do, I get overwhelmed. And then the last time I played Skyrim, I put it down for like a month. When I came back, I'm like, what am I even doing? What is my character at? What is my gear? I have no idea. So Skyrim encompasses way too much that I can't really sit down and ever finish it, unfortunately, because it is, you know, one of the most like legendary titles there is. Also, again, Skyrim is single player. Like, I guess there's Elder Scrolls Online, but MMOs have been MMOs and multiplayers, like online, either MOBAs or shooters, have typically been what held my attention the most in all my years of gaming, ever since I got into online gaming. Like, yeah, when I was growing up, console gaming and PC gaming was for the most part single player because internet gameplay was either slow or not a thing. But these days, I really need that other player interaction to like play a game a lot. Yeah, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls 5 rather, not Skyrim 5. Elder Scrolls, the next one, I think it's going to be huge. Every Elder Scrolls game has pretty much, you know, knocked it out of the park. The issue is, will it be overhyped, similar to how Cyberpunk was overhyped for how many years it was announced beforehand? Like, I don't even know when it will come out. I don't know what the graphics are going to be and what the gameplay will be like, but I think the next Elder Scrolls will be amazing. Will it come out within the next 2 to 3 years? Who knows? Yes, the 10100F is great for a budget build. It is my top recommendations for like builds under $400. That and the 5600G, if you can fit the 5600G in that low of a price. It's kind of hard though, because that's already $250-ish. Oh, match. Yes, so my printing process, I took the image in a program like Photoshop. Actually, it should be scaled perfectly, but I took it to Staples to get it printed out. But pixel-wise, I think if you want to be safe, put it into Photoshop, make sure it's the correct dimensions of your frame. Mine's, I believe it's 10 by 40 inches, so it's not, or is it 10 by 30? I forget, but yeah, get into Photoshop first. And then print it out based on whatever the DPI and inches are at the printer that you're taking it to. Let's see. Tips for faking sick to stay home from school. Yell at the top of your lungs for as long as possible so that your throat gives out. So then you say you have a sore throat and you're feeling sick. I don't know. For $600 to $650 build, a good budget GPU is the GTX 970. I think that's the best value right now, based on what I found. If you can find a 980 that fits in there, sure. If you can find a 1060, sure. Anything in that ballpark. GTX 970, 980, 1060. If you can fit out R9 290X, anything around that range. It's just really hard to find. You're going to be spending around $200, $250 for a budget build of like $600. Hey, what's up, War Dog Junior 97? Welcome to the stream. What mic do you recommend for gaming? Oh, honestly, if you're just gaming, any cheap mic off of Amazon would do. You don't need like a $100 mic or anything like that. And if you want a headset, those are also super cheap on Amazon. I can't name one off the top personally. Most of them do fine for like the $20 to $30 you can find them for, like the tabletop or headset mics, depending on how much you want to spend though, because you can spend up to like hundreds of dollars for that if you want. Yeah, GTX 970 is the perfect, in my opinion, GPU. RTX 2060 12GB premium. Oh man, I'm very curious if those will stay in stock and how much their price will be. This is going to be interesting. And I'm curious how many content creators are going to make videos crapping on it. Probably everybody. Yeah, Blue Yeti I think sounds good. A lot of people say it's a little overpriced though, because it's what, I think 85 to 100 bucks for a Blue Yeti. I bought mine used for like 40 bucks and I used it for several years, so I have no complaints. If you can find it in the used market, what I found in my area is a lot of people think they want to get into streaming, so they buy all this streaming and camera gear, and then they do it for like a month, and then they don't stick to it, and then they sell it for cheap on OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace. That's where I got my Blue Yeti Nano. That's where I got my Canon, this camera right here, the Canon T8i. I bought it for like a huge discount because the dude's son wanted to get into vlogging and quit. Yeah, so a lot of the content creator gear you can find usually in your used market for way cheaper than brand new on Amazon. So definitely consider that. You still have the new RTX 2060 6GB here in Australia. Or you still have new ones there? How much do they go for? Interesting, Chris. I didn't see that article. Maybe I can pull it up. All right. Let's see if we can find in the news. I would imagine it would be... I'm not seeing anything about that. Maybe I'm not searching the right terms. Your problem is everyone wants JPEG or PNG. If for some reason it says file. Wait, what? Shoot me an email, Match. I can send you the direct file. Do you have Photoshop or GIMP or something that you can edit it? Nerd on a budget. Is trying to buy local overpriced RTX 30 card not trustworthy? So if you're buying local, if the price is too good, it's probably a scam. If the price is a little bit scalped, like $100 or $200 over MSRP, then that's probably more reasonable. Just make sure, it's so expensive, you want to make sure you don't get scammed. So if you can see the card physically, if they have an offer profile that's been around for a while and has ratings, I would go for things like that more so than new accounts. Just be careful. Please don't get scammed, anyone out there. I don't want people's hard-earned money getting wasted to scammers. Is a 1660 Super and 10400F good for a 2400? Fortnite performance mode actually is... Wow, you're gonna play on performance mode, which is like the lowest of the low. But I'm thinking a 1660 Super... I don't know if it can push 240. 240 even in performance mode at 1080p, that might be rough. I'm pretty confident you can get over 144, but I rarely push things that high into like the 200 plus FPS. For me personally, I don't have monitors that run that high, and when I run benchmarks, they go through the capture card, which caps it anyway, so I can't speak on the 240 plus hertz. You would have to look at performance videos specific to your card, and I don't know if there are creators out there that do that. Yeah, for sure. I'm glad you're making use of the poster. I love the poster. Again, as you can see, I proudly have it there. Chrono Trigger is one of my favorite console games of all time. A lot of memorable experiences, so I'm glad I was able to find a perfect piece that fits that very slim, narrow space on the wall there. But yeah, we're about 2 hours in the stream. I'm pretty sure Melissa is starving by now. Let's get ready to wrap it up. We're gonna tone it down a bit. I would say today is a pretty successful stream. We had a lot of things going on today. A lot of fan testing. Chat was lit today. Thank you for everyone for being in chat. Yeah, so I'm just gonna answer your questions. I'm gonna turn off these cameras. So say bye-bye to the test bench camera. We're gonna turn that off so it's not wasting any more battery. Yeah, Chrono Trigger, I never played Chrono Cross. Apparently, it is related to Chrono Trigger. I was recently reading about it. They have some of the same characters between the two, and they make references to like some of the people. And I think you can fight like Ozzy, Flea, and Slasher in Chrono Cross. So there is some crossover between the games. I need to play it, but oh, I wonder if it'll hold up well. I think sprite graphics on JRPGs hold up well. I'm not sure if PlayStation 1 polygon graphics hold up well. We'll see. Have you seen the new... No, Pebble, we actually talked about that earlier. So the new Arcane series based on League of Legends, I saw like 30 minutes in the first episode. I need to go and finish it. I was trying to get Melissa to watch Arcane with me, but she's just not really interested. She's not really into the animation style, and she never played League of Legends, so... I don't know, maybe I can force her to sit down and watch it with me. Cohen Jax making use of the emotes, which definitely, if you remember, make use of them, please. fill up the chat with the emotes. I will not consider it spam unless you like go overboard. But yeah. How did the extra fans do? So let's recap for the people who joined the stream late and missed the first half of the stream. So Dino Dope. We were only looking at the GPU temperatures because CPU was running fine. It was nowhere close to throttling. It was the GPU that was running toasty. So with no fans in the case, we were running 84 degrees. Putting in intake of the side, exhaust out of the back, we went down to 71 degrees. When I flipped it, it was up to 81 degrees. So that was not good. We wanted to pull intake off into the side. What was really surprising is what we have the configuration at right now. Doing double exhaust out the back and the side, I was just looking at it, it went down to 71 degrees. So it was the same as having one intake, one exhaust. So either doing that or double exhaust was the best results. And that was surprisingly suggested by one of the Andrew Woodford. He's one of the members of the channel, but he had to go. But yeah, he suggested doing the double exhaust. I wouldn't have thought about it, but yeah, that was the best result. So you got a 13-degree delta by adding 2 fans potentially for the cost of anywhere from 10 to 15 bucks is what cheap fans cost. Hey, what's up, Chris Cass? Let's see. Yeah, 12 gigabyte 2060. I don't know what they're trying to do with that. You're not gonna use up all that VRAM buffer, especially for the power that the 2060 has. I don't see it requiring more than 6 gigs. Probably like 5. I'm actually curious. I haven't played with the 2060 and like properly benchmarked in a long time, but I don't think it would use more than like 4 to 5 gigs. When are we getting together for Boombo Way? Wait, where? I forget, Chris, because I know you've been all over Washington. Where do you live at currently right now? Do I think a 30 Ti reference for 1700 is a good buy? Honestly, I shudder at the thought of spending more than like 1200 on a graphics card. It's hard for me to say. I just come from that kind of mindset where I think right now what people should be doing is buying a card that can play games good enough and not chase after the high end, because you're paying a crazy premium that could be going away in the next year. Even if it doesn't, I don't know. If you have that much disposable income, then I don't think you should be getting advice from me. You should just buy it. But if you're trying to get advice from me, I think staying below, like, especially in this market, I don't know, spending more than 1,000 on a graphics card, it's a crazy thought to me personally. Oh, okay. Is that east? I'm a bad Washingtonian. Are you east or south? Why is this not showing up? Oh, yeah, you are northeast. Why is this not even showing up? That's the whole county? That's huge! Oh, wait. Can I bring this up right now? We'll see. Hopefully there's no secret. Okay, there's no secret information on here. So, I'm located like around this region right here. Oops. So here's Washington State, right? Here's me, somewhere between Everett and Seattle. This is where I live. And this is Okanogan County, which is this big region to the northeast. But holy crap, that's one county? That's huge compared to like King County and stuff over here, which is a lot smaller. So like, this is a huge region where you could be living. Unless you're right here in Okanogan. Oh, okay. Got it. Oh, that's even further than the bounds of the county. Okay. Let's see. Catching up on chat. Sorry about that. Okay. You would think that pushing air onto the graphics card would be best as a side intake. Yeah. Then put an extra exhaust. That was one of the best results, Dino Dope. It was either that or double exhaust, but yeah. And I couldn't put a fan on the front intake because the graphics card was so long for the small case. It would have... There wasn't enough space in the front. They say a 3090 is very identical to a 3080 Ti in terms of performance. They're pretty close, but in terms of if it's worth... Because normally when you get to like the bleeding edge of the top of tech, you're paying a premium for minimal gains, right? So, in terms of the value between the two, 3080 Ti would probably be better value proposition. But again, I think it's compared the 3080 to the 3080 Ti, dollar per frame per second. You know, as you go down, you start getting better proposition, right? Or better value. But yeah, I can't really speak much more than that. I would have to look up the specific numbers and do the calculations to see what's more worth it. Off the top, I barely played with the 3080 Ti before I gave that one away to the lucky winner. And then I've never played with the 3090. So I can't personally speak from experience. Yeah, I can Google Nora, where you live. So this is where Shane Eastlick is from. We're just looking up where some of you subscribers are from as we close out the stream. But here's Australia. I had to zoom out all the way. Okay, so there's Australia. So here's us in the US. Shane's all the way over here in Australia, in New South Wales, and then he is here. So in the southeast tip of it, southeast region. Where's Brian from Techia City is from Gold Coast, right? So he's here. Oops, I'm not even showing the browser. Sorry. Yeah, but here's Australia. Here's where Shane's from. Down here, south of Sydney. And then in Sydney itself, I think that's where... Actually, no. Yeah, Brian from Techia City is from Gold Coast, I believe. Yeah, Australia. Maybe I need to talk to Melissa about our next international trip. Potentially being Australia. That would be fun. We did Southeast Asia. Maybe we should do something that's not Asia next. What is the point of buying a 12-core CPU? What games utilize 12-core? Also the heat output. Would you need to water cool? Yeah, so you definitely want to have at least a like 240, probably more so a 280 or 360 AIO. But the point of a 12-core CPU is not for gaming. It's for... It actually helps when you're doing things like rendering videos or rendering models and stuff like that using Blender. So most people don't need that. So for gamers, yeah, you make a good point, Chris. Hardware unboxes in Victoria. Where are they? Where's... Oh, so they're even down here. Okay. Gear Seekers, I believe, is in Sydney. Yeah, so Gear Seekers, I believe, is in Sydney, and then Hardware Unboxed is Victoria. So there are quite a few big content creators coming out of Australia. I've not seen the leaks for the Ryzen 6000 APUs, though I'm a fan of APUs, so if I can get my hands on any APU just to mess with and showcase. See, I feel like different tech tubers take different approaches to low-end hardware. Me personally, like I mentioned in the latest video, I try to look on like the bright side, that glass half full when it comes to stuff like integrated graphics. I don't look at it like, oh, it's not as good as the graphics card, you're gonna have to turn your low settings down. It's more like, oh wow, you can play all these different games. If you tweak the resolution or settings, you can get a playable experience. You don't get frame drops, things like that. So that's my approach. Obviously, I always take into account price. If it's not priced well, I will say that. I don't fanboy like if the 6000 series APUs, if they perform well and they can bring it out at like less than 300 and still have a very solid CPU to back it for when you put a graphics card in, I'm all for it. So I'll take a look at the leaks after the stream, but 6000 series APUs, hopefully they move up and do like RDNA 2, right? So then we can get even better performance. If you had an APU in your pants, all right. Born and raised in New York. Wait, how old are you, Chris? I'm thinking you're in your 30-somethings. Around the same age as me. Why did you give away a free GPU? Would you consider doing a GPU performance comparison? Oh, the 3080 Ti I gave away because I don't think there's much on the channel that I could have done with it. Especially at that point in time, people, anytime I posted anything with like an RTX 3000 series GPU, they would complain like, oh, another GPU I couldn't get. So it's like, what's the point of having it when I could give it out to someone who needed it? So I don't know. I felt like giving that one away. I still have my 3080, 3070, stuff like that. I keep those ones on hand. But realistically, above a 3080, I don't think people would really enjoy watching on my channel personally. I would get more complaints, you know, rather. Oh, 46? Dang. I can't tell because I'm not sure if your profile picture is a recent one of you or if it's like an older one. But I mean, if you're 46 and that your profile picture is actually you, then you look pretty young for your age. Can you sign or can I sign your marriage papers? Why would you want me to do that? 4K 144 hertz. Personally, that's not something I'm chasing, but people have different preferences. Like Chris, you're asking a lot about high-end hardware. Maybe this is too personally for me to ask, but how much like do you make a year? Do you have a family? Do you have a mortgage? Do you have car payments? Do you have school loans? Because a lot of people, I think, cannot afford the highest end hardware and 4K 144 hertz monitors. There's like a premium that for me, I can't afford or I can afford those things, but I don't want to because they don't bring value to me. But I'm curious, if you're like, if you make a lot of money, then for sure spend as much as you want. But personally, I don't think a 4K 144 hertz is worth it. I think 1440p 144 hertz, that's what I have right now. 1440p ultra wide 144 hertz, and I'm perfectly happy with it. Brad Smith. See, it's weird because in the comments, I can never tell how old some people are, but like as we're talking through this live stream, you know, we're getting more personal, and it's interesting to find out how old some of the viewers are. So yeah, so like Chris, you don't look like you're in your 40s at all by your profile pic, but then people think I look like I'm 18 still. So, where's my phone? Oh no, someone just came home. I thought Melissa left without telling me. My phone's here. I think Melissa would have tuned into the chat and said something if she needed my attention, because I have not been checking my phone. But we're coming up on 2.5 hours of stream. I will cut it off in 5 more minutes. We'll go to 7. Office tour, sure, it's on the back burner, trust me. I'm still doing things to the office though. That's why I also haven't made a video. I still need to build that island table, but hopefully by the end of the year. What is the LM, by the way, Craig? What does the LM stand for? It looks almost like a picture of like someone doing a hand signal almost. Let's see if I can do it. Yeah, it looks like someone doing like this. If you were to make a logo out of this, like the L and M. Oh, age poll. Yeah. Let's do an age poll before we finish. Even though we can look at the statistics on my channel. Most of the viewers are in the 24 to 30-ish range, I think. Let's see. So we'll do it by decade. 20 to 30. Oh, there's only so many options I can do. So if Gerard was in here, he'd be the 65 plus. So I think he is the oldest person that watches the channel regularly. Let's look at the results. $980 Ti or 1066 gig for gaming. The 980 Ti is closer to a 1070, so if they're the same price, get the 980 Ti. If you're spending more on it, because I think 980 Ti's are going for like $400, try to get the 1060 then, if you can get that for like $250. It depends on the price. It's hard to say. But yeah, I think Shane is the oldest. Wow, look at that even spread in the poll. We've got almost 20+% across all those ranges. Yep, GTX 970 is the perfect card, which is why I bought 2 in the last month for build videos. Yeah, do I own any tech stocks? Yeah, so right now, I did hold AMD and Nvidia for a bit, but let's just say I switched those over to GameStop at some point in time. I'm not gonna give you the specific details, but I'm holding quite a bit of GameStop right now. This is not financial advice, by the way. Do not listen or do what I do. Do your own research. Yeah, so I'm 32 going on 33. Gerard, I mean, I think Gerard, when he first started making videos, I think Tech by Matt shouted him out, and then his channel got a big boost. And then I think some of that tapered off. So a lot of the times people don't keep making content when they don't have like high viewership. So I think Gerard just lost motivation and filled his time with something else. You know, he's married. He is retired though, so he does a lot of free time. But making content takes a lot of time. Like building a computer, you can do that in like 1 or 2 hours. Making a video on a computer build, that could take 10, 20, 30 hours depending on how much you want to record and talk about and benchmark and edit. So yeah, it's very time consuming to make content. And Gerard maybe is just, you know, he's not as interested in putting that much time into it. Okay, let's see what the results are. So wow, it has so we got 20+% in every range except 0 to 19. So teenagers or younger coming in at 36% right now. So that's interesting to see, but that's not representative of the entire channel. That's just of the people viewing the stream as we are closing this out. I'm not gonna dab on stream. Dabbing is so to what, 2016? do I still work out at home? I'm actually getting back into working out. I had a wrist injury that put me out for about 2 months. But my favorite exercise, funny enough, more recently, I think it's the push-up. Like very deep push-ups with using those like push-up grips so that you can get more like full extension. I probably like that the most now. Squats, I don't know. I'm redoing my squat. Trying to fix my form to lessen chances of injury. Because sometimes I would get some knee pains. And it's not from going down as low, because that doesn't hurt as much as it does probably the amount of bounce I had. So trying to be way more controlled in my squat. Okay, Chris. Who's the 0-year-old? Okay, so we have reached 7 p.m. We've passed it. So I want to thank you all, as always, for watching and joining on the stream. I want to put the membership shout out again. Thank you to all the members that we have right here. I think we're only 1 member away from getting more emotes. So if you want to join, it's $1 entry up to $3 or $5 depending on the levels. But yeah, then you get to use emotes and have a cool little icon next to your name during the streams and in the video comments. But other than that, you'll be seeing this build over here in the video coming this weekend. So I will see you in that video as well as in next week's stream. Thank you for making chat lit, everybody. I appreciate you all. And I will see you this weekend as well as next week's stream. Bye.